Thank you, everybody, for joining us here at Unity of Kona. Let's hold a moment of thought and prayer as we prepare to celebrate the spirit of life and aloha to the world. Mahalo ke akua. Thank you for the blessings this day may bring. May it bring peace and love to the world. And so it is. Amen. I'd ask you to please set your cell phones down as we prepare for service. Akumau mau. Akumau mau pa. Iho mai. Iho mai. Iho mai. Iho mai ka iki mai luna mai. Ona mea huna no awe mele. Iho mai. Iho mai. Eho mai ka iki mai luna mai ona mea huna no awe mele eho mai eho mai eho mai eho mai ka iki mai luna mai ona mea huna no awe mele. Good morning and welcome, Unity of Kona. I'm Uncle Jim, or Jim Carey, and as we start our service with the Hawaiian prayer chant, the Eho Mai, lifting the Great Spirit and beseeching the Great Spirit and our ancestors for wisdom, done in 3 octaves for the layers of meaning, as the Eho Mai. A is the beseech, the Om is the Great Spirit, and the Mai, our ancestors, for the wisdom, stories being told. Why would we tell these stories to our children? And the highest octave representing our life experiences that become our stories. Please grant us the wisdom of this experience so we don't have to live them over and over again. As we learn from our experiences past and the depth darkness of night appears, set aside all grievances and stones, for have no fear. A comes a dawning of a new day, and every day we get a chance to start over and do better in our lives. So a fitting prayer chant with the Eo Mai prayer chant. Welcome, my friends, as we start with prayer. I'd like to continue with just another solemn prayer. Divine Source, I surrender and place all my trust in you. Be the light in my darkness, the power in my weakness, my strength in the times of trial, my comfort in sorrow, and my joy in all things. Fill me with the peace and comfort and guide me through this journey. And so it is. Mahalo ke akua. Amene. Thank you, God. And as we get started with our service, I'll ask everybody, please stand as we'll do our affirmation, vision, and mission statements together. Affirmation for this month of January together. I am open and receptive to the abundant life. So it is. Here at Unity, we come together with a vision, a world, family of oneness, peace, and love, with our mission to inspire spiritual growth and service through the active practice of love, prayer, faith, joy, and honoring everyone as a child of God. And while I've got everybody standing, we'll have our singers come up as we'll do our opening song, New Beginnings.
Feels like I've been here before. Echoes from years ago. Trying to break the patterns to find peace of mind and create a new life. You can stay. You're on your way to better days. You're breaking away. This is your new beginning. Walk through the door and keep on living. Now you can shout, you can cry, sing it out and say goodbye. The days before that left you spinning. Yeah, this is your new beginning. Taking time to heal your wounds. In your mind, flowers start to bloom. There is beauty in owning your past. You are free, make the good times last. You can say you're on your way to better days. You're breaking away. This is your new beginning. Walk through the door and keep on living. Now you can shout, you can cry, sing it out and say goodbye. The days before that left you spinning. Yeah, this is your new beginning. Be kind to yourself when you fall back. You are not lost, you're right on track. There's a whole world out there, many roads to be traveled. Take a chance and dare, yeah, this is your revival. This is your new beginning. Walk through the door and keep on living. Now you can shout, you can cry, sing it out and say goodbye. The days before that left you spinning. Yeah, this is your new beginning. Your new beginning.
Thank you, everyone. Now let's take a moment here in the sanctuary and greet your neighbor with a handshake or a hug. And if you're joining us online, it's a great time to leave us a little comment in the comment section so we can greet everybody formally. So just give us a moment or two here in the sanctuary, and we'll be right back with the show. We're having such a good time here in the sanctuary. Nobody wants to sit down and relax and see what's going on for us today, but we've got a lot going on. And it's amazing to have so many happy, joyful people and starting this new year here in Hawaii. What could we ask for anything better? We are so blessed to just be here. Whether you're visiting or family that live here, it's an honor to be here with you all today. And as we start with our service, I have just a few announcements that move through. But first and foremost, excuse me, Vince, we are a prayer ministry. And with the prayer request forms in the back of the sanctuary, up in the office, please fill out these forms. Place them into the wooden boxes. Our chaplains pray over them here and send them on to Silent Unity, where they receive 30 days of consecutive prayer. The power of prayer is tenfold when two or more. You've got the whole Unity community praying with you over these things. So please, let's utilize this thought and prayer. And you can also download the Be Unity app. With that, you get instant connection, plus meditations and messages and things that you can check out from Unity Village in Lee Summit, Missouri. Prayer Vigil is 24 hours a day, 30 days consecutive prayer. The lights never go off, and it is a powerful, powerful ministry. So thank you, God, for the ministry of Unity Village, for sure, because we're all connected. And with a few more announcements, I've asked Patrick to come up and share what's going on here at our church. Thank you, Patrick.
Good morning, everybody. So first thing I want to announce this morning is our Team Member of the Month. Congratulations, Gail. Mahalo, Gail, for your loving service. We're blessed to have you here at Unity of Kona. Gail brings food for fellowship brunches, headed up the bake sale during our most recent circulation day, is a Sunday greeter, and helps decorate for the holidays. Her can-do attitude, willingness to offer whatever support is needed, and share her time and talents is greatly appreciated. You're a bright light for all to see, and we're grateful for your spirit of aloha. Thank you. Today at noon, Dawson Church will be facilitating a workshop called Trauma to Transcendence. Each of us has adverse experiences that shatter our lives. We're familiar with the descent into traumatic stress and perhaps even PTSD that can ensue. Please join Dawson and discover your gateway to turning trauma to transcendence. Thank you so much for providing that today. A big mahalo to those who came and took down the Christmas decorations yesterday. We're back to business as usual. We still got a couple of poinsettias, though, so that's nice. Reverend Sophia will offer a new members class on Saturday, January 31st. Anyone interested in becoming an active and voting member of Unity of Kona will need to take a new members class. The class will be held via Zoom at 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. A sign-up sheet will be passed around for those attending service to add your name. For those attending online, kindly send an email to unityofkona@gmail.com with the subject New Members Class, expressing your desire to take the class. Reverend Sophia will provide the materials and Zoom link closer to the scheduled date. Our annual Vision Board workshop is scheduled for Sunday, January 25th at 12 p.m. That will be facilitated by Kayla. Thank you, Kayla. All materials will be provided, so just come and join us. The 45th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration is next Sunday, the 18th, at the Makayao Pavilion at Old Airport Beach Park. The program starts at 12:30 with free lunch, student artwork, entertainment, and displays till 3. The Board of Trustees election is soon upon us with our annual meeting on February 22nd. Board member terms are for 2 years and may be elected for a second 2-year term. If you would like to join the Board of Directors, if you feel so called, please send an email or contact Dondi or Mamie or send an email to unityofkona@gmail.com with board candidate in the subject line. Include a short bio by Saturday, January 22nd. We look forward to hearing from you. We also encourage new potential board members to sit in on our board meetings that are on the third Sunday after service, just so you get an idea of how they go. Annual membership renewal. The 2026 Renewal Membership Covenant will be attached to this week's newsletter and mailed out this week, and everybody who's a member in service got one today, it seems like. So fill those out and get those back to us so you can continue to be an active member of Unity of Kona and vote on items at our annual meeting in February. Mondays from 1 to 5 p.m., Sean, who is a Divine Source Communication channel, will be offering individual readings, meditation, and intuitive guidance and energy healing alignments. Please see her if interested in scheduling a time or send her an email at seanshine.me@gmail.com. Monday evenings from 6 to 7 p.m., Dondi leads the ukulele jam sessions from beginners to experts here in the sanctuary. Bring your ook. Some are available to use. Come learn, play, and share. And for our regular weekly and monthly events, there's a flyer on the small table at the back of the sanctuary. Feel free to pick one up. And as you know, it takes a village to run our spiritual center. And we appreciate everyone. Unity of Kona depends on each and every one of us for all of that goes on here. And we're kindly asking for your support. Please consider giving just 1 to 4 hours a month of your time. Right now, in addition to financial support, we're in deep need of Sunday greeters platform, audiovisual assistance. There's a new sign-up sheet on the side table at the back of the sanctuary. Please see Cindy, who's coordinating volunteer lists, if you have any questions. Your support is absolutely essential, and we thank you in advance from the bottom of our hearts. Mahalo.
Thank you, Patrick. He does such a great job, and he does so much here at the sanctuary. He doesn't get enough credit. Mahalo keakua. Thank you, Patrick, also. God bless you, my brother. All right, now it's time for our daily word, and I've asked Kayla. Kayla, she does so much around here, too, and today she's going to do our daily word. Thank you, Kayla.
Thank you. Today's daily word is guidance. Centered in the image and likeness of God, I have creative power to bring my ideas to life. I choose which thoughts to nurture and grow, and where and how to invest my time and energy. Like a sailor preparing to embark upon the open seas, I do not travel alone. I get clear about where I want to go and what I want to experience, and get ready for the journey. I map the course to my goals and make an action plan. God accompanies me as the wind that fills my sails and propels me. I hold the rudder and choose the route, but ultimately the wind moves me. I collaborate with spirit within me and feel secure and brave, knowing that I am always supported. With divine guidance to rely upon, I move confidently in the direction of my dreams. And from Proverbs 16:9, the verse today is, "The human mind plans the way, but the Lord directs the steps." And let's say our affirmation together. Together, I follow divine guidance with faith and confidence. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayla. And so it is. Now, take a breath, everyone. Get comfortable in your seats as we take a moment and just find this little space between the thinking. And as I invite you to relax, take a deep breath. Breathe in and visualize our sanctuary as a beautiful heart. And as you feel that loving energy of those around you, feel it flowing in and through you. And then take a big breath and see that loving energy flowing around every person in this sanctuary, and then spreading out to every person being on this earth and in this world. And now, if there are any events or circumstances in your life, bring them to the center of what we just created, this most beautiful, loving heart. And as we hold these thoughts and prayers for our loved ones and the world around us, we come back to this moment and we share our prayer for protection. For the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. And wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Mahalo keakua, thank you, God. And as we move forward into some more music, we have Lauren and Braylon. They're doing a wonderful song. The flyer on their seats there, people can share. Number 108, Peace Like a River, from the Hawaiian Songbook.
Peace like a river, it floweth so free. Out from the heart of infinity. Oh, blessed Spirit, it floweth for thee. Peace like a river, peace like a river, peace like a river to him who believes. Peace to the heart that the Savior receives. Peace to the spirit that sorrows and grieves. Peace like a river, peace like a river, peace like a river, it floweth always, making the darkness as far as the day. Peace like a river, oh weary one pray. Peace like a river, peace like a river.
That's beautiful. Let's all find that peace like a river. And now we'll move forward with our main message and meditation. And we've got Dr. Dawson Church with us today, and he's a best-selling science writer and author of 4 award-winning books. The Genie in Your Genes broke new ground by showing that gene expression is influenced by emotions. Master to Mind is based on hundreds of studies showing that our brains play a key role in the constructing the reality around us. And in Bliss Brain, he demonstrates that we cultivate peak states of our brain, rapidly rewiring themselves for happiness. Spiritual Intelligence maps the neuroscience of awakening, science of consciousness. He is the founder of Veteran Stress Solution and has offered free PTSD treatments to over 22,000 U.S. veterans. His mission is to inspire spiritual transformation through his presentations, podcasts, books, and blog posts. So please welcome, my friends, Dr. Dawson Church.
Hello, Jim. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Bless you. Wonderful to be back here again. Just so great to be here and look at these inspired faces. And behind the faces are the energies and the being of the people that inhabit those bodies. It's great to have your body, your soul, your mind, your being here today. And thanks for sharing this time together. And when I was thinking about what to share with you today, I decided to talk about something that is difficult. And we all have easy times. We all have times when our lives are flowing, things seem to be going well. And then we have times when they aren't. And what so strikes me, I do a lot of presentations, I present at conferences, I do a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of summits. And then often I'll do in-person classes too. And I'll work with somebody, sometimes up on stage here at a PTSD demonstration or a class. And this will be somebody who looks like they're doing really well. They look healthy. They're doing okay financially. They're doing well in their relationships. In all kinds of ways in their lives, they're doing well. And then you dive below the surface. You start to ask them some questions. And suddenly you discover that there's trauma there. There's buried trauma there. It's like a subtext running in our minds, and not just in our minds and our brains. If you look in the neuroscience research into what the brains of people who are traumatized are doing, they may be on the surface, they may be just fine, and they may look as though they're functional, but those worries, one of the words we use in psychology for it is rumination. And that's like not being able to shake the thought about that bad thing. I know a few days ago I was really worried about a page on our website, a page that wasn't working properly. And so I woke up at 2 a.m. worried about this page on our website. So I'm a smart person. I have 2 advanced degrees. I said, Dawson, don't think about that page on the website. How well do you suppose that worked? 3:30 a.m., I'm still thinking about the page on the website, and nothing I do, all my smarts, I know this neuroscience. I've been involved in dozens of clinical trials, and I still can't shake that negative rumination. And the interesting thing is that our brains are actually designed to work that way, because if you think about your ancestors 1,000 years ago, my sons Lionel and Alex are here today, and the very first thing we did, we got them from the airport, we walked over, we went to a really amazing ancient Hawaiian village, and we did a ceremony, a 4-direction ceremony, much like the one that Jim did with a conch at the beginning of today. And we really tuned in to the place, the Aina, our bodies, the people, and the ancestors, and we oriented ourselves in this way. And to your ancestors 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, it was absolutely vital that they pay super close attention to anything wrong. Because that wrong thing, that predator, that poisonous plant, that threat, that could kill you if you fail to pay attention for even a moment. So our brains are hyper-wired. It's just the hardware of our brains to focus on that. And if in the meantime you missed how beautiful those red poinsettias are, and you missed out on how good your body feels after breakfast, and you failed to notice your wife and how beautiful she was, and you failed to notice your children, and failed to notice the singing of the birds, and nothing bad happened if you failed to notice all those bad things. But if you failed to notice failed to notice all the good things, nothing bad happened. If you failed to notice one bad thing, just one time. So your ancestors learned to pay very close attention to what was wrong. And that's why at 3:30 a.m., I'm thinking about this stupid web page. And all my smarts, my cognitive ability, my prefrontal cortex saying, Dawson, you're an idiot, don't do that. Didn't work. We just keep on ruminating. We keep on focusing on what isn't going well. So how do we break these cycles? And that's really the work I've been doing for the last couple of decades, is working with veterans. Right now we're working with people in Ukraine. Ukraine, of course, has been in this terrible war since Russia invaded in February of 2022. And we're working with the Ukraine Institute of Trauma Therapy. We're working with one group of teachers who works with school children, another group of therapists working with both veterans and civilians there, and this entire country of 40 million people just absolutely traumatized. What do you do when they don't have an imaginary problem like their webpage? They have the glide bombs coming in over the border from Russia, blowing people and places up. So our ancestors learned to do this, and we tend to do it even when things are good. So I'll have this young person up on stage sometimes working with them in a workshop, and they seem to be doing so well. And you dive below the surface, and there's so much pain and suffering there. And I'm very conscious as I look at each person here that we may look as though we're doing well on the surface, and yet under the surface, there's often turmoil, and then we won't show it when we're smiling at unity and giving each other hugs necessarily, especially if you're a man. Men show it less than women. Women tend to communicate their distress. Men often isolate. And so often we're not sharing with people what our inner distress is. And so when we don't do that, it just festers. It just stays there. Those unhealed places remain. And there are now therapies, there are now approaches, there are the things I'll be doing in the workshop. Please come to that workshop at noon. For 90 minutes, we'll be solidly doing the things that we're doing with those children in Ukraine, that we've done with those 22,000 plus veterans, that we're doing with people in conflict zones and disaster zones in different parts of the world. And they can really help you shift those patterns. So there is that suffering. And it is something that our minds tend to return to over and over and over and over again. And you see in the brain, I'll stand sideways over here so you can see imagine looking into my brain, but in the middle of your brain is the emotional brain in the center over here. In the front over here is the prefrontal cortex, the executive part. And there are circuits that connect the two. And those circuits are supposed to break those trauma loops. But in people with trauma, severe trauma especially, it's just looping. It's that rumination, just going over and over and over and over again. They can't break the loop of remembering about the bad thing that happened during their childhood or last week. And even when it's minor, even when it's that web page, you just keep on remembering those things. And what are we writing about in the next 10 years? I have a couple more books I'd like to write. One of those is about something called post-traumatic growth. Post-traumatic growth. Because research shows that of the people who have a shattering experience, combat experience, a terrible divorce, a car crash, a severe illness, research shows that about a third of them just get into that loop and can't break it. And then often their life starts to get worse. Anxiety, depression, diagnoses like anxiety and depression. The World Health Organization says depression lasts an average of 8 months worldwide, just as they treat people worldwide. Depression, if something bad happens, you get depressed, it tends to last about, on average, 8 months. Unless you have antidepressants, in which case it can last a lot longer. But then that's the cycle, is about 8 months. PTSD is not like that. PTSD people often get worse and worse and worse. And these trauma loops now, if you are using those brain cells over and over and over again, if those neurons are firing, they wire together, they hardwire together. And now you're just stuck there. And so people who don't interrupt the trauma then have that ongoing. So what can you do to interrupt those kinds of patterns in your brain? And essentially you do, because if you don't, they just keep on looping over and over and over again. And it might not be a major disaster. It might be a small thing that really bothered you and hurt you. So the research shows that about a third of people do descend into those trauma loops. But research shows that about 2/3 of people don't. They actually are able to use those traumatic events for growth. And that's called post-traumatic growth. And I want to urge you to focus on breaking your trauma loops, breaking those old patterns, rescuing yourself from these old patterns, and being one of those people who does grow. Because if you think about our heroes, think about Martin Luther King, whose commemorative day is coming up in the next couple of weeks. Think about Gandhi. Think about Mother Teresa. Think about so many of the people who have changed our world for the better. And if you look at their lives, I mean, Nelson Mandela, decades in solitary confinement. Martin Luther King, harassed in all kinds of ways. Gandhi, imprisoned repeatedly. So a lot of these people, Mother Teresa facing enormous crises of faith, working in such limited circumstances. So you think about these people who've made a difference in the world, and they didn't have easy lives. They were part of that 2/3 of people who has post-traumatic growth. And I want you to be among that group of people too. And you really can be. A generation ago, my parents, they were just stuck in the trauma loop. And they were stuck in a trauma loop that was multi-generational. When I go back into my family, my grandparents, great-grandparents, I can go back to one of my uncles was the pastor of a church in the south part of England, and you walk into the church, at the front door there it says, serving God's people since, and guess what year that church was built? 966. Serving God's people since 966. And I looked out at my family, and there's just this trauma passed on generation to generation to generation, and you want to break the cycle. You want to make the cycle break with you and not carry that forward, certainly to your children, and certainly not to the people around you, not to your own life, not to your own cells. Your cells are being affected by the quality of your thinking and the quality of your experience. You have a negative thought, your body's hearing that. Your body's hearing that as a threat. It isn't just that thought about a problem that's staying in your mind, it's communicating itself through your hypothalamus, through your pituitary gland, to your adrenal glands, and you're making molecules miraculously. You're manifesting molecules like cortisol just by your thoughts. And you make a lot of it, and you age. Some people are 10 years older biologically than their chronological age. 10 years older. They are 50, but their bodies are 60, and sometimes more than 60, because of all the stress that's affected them. Other people, you meet people who are in their 90s, and they're just absolutely doing great. So they may be 10 years younger than their biological age. So by 50, that spread of biological age, based largely on stress, can diverge by 20 years. You can be 10 years older than your chronological age or 10 years younger. Your cells are hearing that stress. So not just for your ancestors and your progeny, you want to be healing this for yourselves and who you are right now, so you have a good, long, healthy life. So I'm really passionate about sharing these techniques. I urge you to do all of the external things for well-being. Read get the daily word. Read that. Orient yourself every morning. We'll end today with a brief meditation. My meditations are all free online. Just look up Dawson Church. You'll find dozens of sites where you can download free meditations. Download those meditations, and they'll help you orient yourself in the morning to having a good day. Then there are things you can do during the day that'll interrupt those negative thoughts, that'll break those trauma loops in the brain, so they don't just loop and loop and loop. So what I did myself when I was worried about the web page, I just began to chant and pray and do some internal work around that. And after a while, I fell into a peaceful sleep. So there are things you can do to break that and stop yourself spiraling down into that traumatic loop, and encourage yourself to move into that 2/3 of people who use these experiences for personal growth. Be one of those 2/3 of people, and you really can shift. Gandhi doing his work shifted. Nelson Mandela doing his work shifted. Mother Teresa doing her work shifted. These people who had desperate circumstances. In my book, Spiritual Intelligence, it's all about the science of this, but there are dozens of stories of people who were in solitary confinement and then came out and did good in the world, who were terribly unjustly treated and had terrible tragedies in their lives, and then came out and did well in the world, did good in the world. So be one of those people who not only is experiencing this internally, but then goes out and becomes that being of light and love and kindness and joy. Break those trauma loops inside, move into post-traumatic growth. you become a light around you. You become one of those people who's transformative. You walk into a room, you walk maybe into a family gathering, you walk into a store, and there is just goodwill radiating from you. You know these people of compassion who you meet, and you just are with them, and you feel it. You'll feel a lot of that here in this congregation. This is a group of people who's committed to this, and just watching their beautiful faces up here, beautiful beings, shining beings. For me, standing here and looking at you, I'm totally inspired. Just this group of angels. So be one of those people. And when you do, you'll find that things occur to you that help you change the world. I know when I was, initially, when I was working with therapists, training therapists who were treating veterans coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq, they were so mad at the fact, first of all, that we were there, that America was fighting these really unnecessary wars, but that also they were really mad because the Veterans Administration back then was completely against these energy treatments that we were using with them. So they just wanted to pump them full of drugs. There was a particularly terrible drug called Risperdal, and they were just dispensing, absolutely spending billions of dollars to inject these veterans with Risperdal, which turned out after a few years to have absolutely horrible side effects, and they had to stop supplying it. But for a decade, we were knocking on their doors saying, we have these easy treatments we want you to offer. And they were saying, no, 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 no. But while everyone else in my community of therapists and researchers was getting so pissed off at the VA for not accepting our effective treatments, a small group of people, 11 other people and me, started the Veteran Stress Solution. So rather than getting mad, we just did something. And we just started a free website called the Veteran Stress Solution to offer this free treatment. And the first year, we were a complete and glorious failure. We treated a total of 12 veterans. So 12 therapists, and at the end, we count every year how many we treat. 12, so we had 12 in of year one. Didn't seem like a very good start. And then the next year, we had about 80. And then the next year, we had over 100. And but now that number is actually in the 20,000 and plus. Last year, we got treatment over 1,000 people in Ukraine. So you find that you start to think about things. You don't just get mad and feel powerless. You may get mad, which I do occasionally, but you then channel that into useful work. You go out and do something. You find a way of volunteering or helping or doing service. So you'll find that this starts to shift. And it's not just an internal experience. You're not just bathing your cells in positive, loving neurotransmitters and hormones anymore. You're not just having an internal experience. You're not just sitting there in meditation in the morning and feeling so good in yourself. You're now doing things. You're reaching out to touch people. Like, I've had like 20 hugs since I walked in the door this morning. I recommend you get at least 20 every Sunday. And these were not British hugs. British hug is like, I'll put my mic down. These were embodied hugs. These were people standing there, breathing. That's why the ancient Hawaiians called the white sailors howlies, non-breathers. They aren't breathing, they aren't sharing breath. They don't know about the breath, the sharing of mana and energy. I got such embodied hugs this morning. So you want to be there with the people in your life and do that. Now we're shining. Now you'll go and you'll spend the rest of the day, and who knows who you might connect with and speak to and touch and make a difference in their lives. So now it's not just post-traumatic growth for you, it's post-traumatic healing for a whole community. This is a world that needs healing. Our world is in very desperate shape in many ways, but I am an absolute believer in the trajectory of our well-being and the ability of people of goodwill to spread that in the world around them. I'll leave you as I'm closing and do a meditation with one final reason why I'm such an optimist. In the last chapter of Spiritual Intelligence, I use that chapter of the book to talk about what's going to happen in the world in the next 50 to 100 years. And there are so many positive trends that are going on in the world right now. But one of them comes from the Framing of Heart study. And it shows that people around you are affected by your mood. When you're kind, when you're compassionate, when you're awake, when you're taking care of yourself, when you're loving, when you're attuned, when you're thoughtful, when you're gracious, then that affects the people around you. And the cool thing is they quantify it. They give it a numerical value. And so when you are meditating and moving into post-traumatic growth and taking care of yourself, your neighbor, your next door neighbor, is 35% more likely to be happy. So you're having a 1/3 effect on your neighbor. Not only that, she is having about a 15% effect on her neighbor. And then her neighbor, who you don't even know, has a 6% effect on the neighbor one level out. So you smile, you give somebody that embodied hug, you say that kind word rather than that stinky word, and guess what? You're causing ripples 3 layers out. 3 layers out. You're causing a ripple effect in the world. And the reason I'm such an optimist is that the same thing happens for bad energy. So someone gives you the stink eye. Well, it's going to make you feel a little bit worse. So bad people, miserable people, disgruntled people also have an effect. But it only goes 2 layers out. They're not as powerful. Love truly is more powerful than fear. Numerically, it goes 3 layers out, and the effect is far stronger. So the people of goodwill in this world, the world is in crisis. I'm not trying to be a Pollyanna and minimize or deny or ignore it, but the people of goodwill are winning. Give yourself a hand. In our whole world, there's so much evidence in the world that in so many ways we are on that upward spiral of love, connection, and compassion. So thank you for being one of those people. And we'll just do a meditation now and really focus on breath and embodiment of this in our own being. Feel your breath, natural rhythm of your breath going in and out. Notice how fast or slowly it's moving in and out. And now imagine your breath flowing in and out through your heart, through the center of your chest. And now relax your tongue and let it rest on the floor of your mouth. And as you breathe, imagine all the tension flowing out of your body. As you breathe in and out through your heart. And know with me now that healing is available for every inner wound. Trauma loops can be broken. You're designed to be like that little kid you once were, falling, but just jumping up again and being in that flow of joy. And know that whatever secret sorrow you might be holding, life is there for you. Compassion is there for you. God is there for you. Grace is infinitely there for you. And as you love and accept and breathe through those wounds, healing is possible. That new possibilities emerge. You are one of those people who came here, took on a body to be the light of the world, to be love made manifest. To learn to release those wounds and live the joy you came here to be. We deeply accept this reality. We give thanks for the privilege of being alive and in these bodies, breathing. One with the great I Am. And we release now our knowledge of our good and our healing into the infinite reality that makes it so. Amen. Mahalo.
Thank you, Dawson. Thank you, Dawson. What an honor it is to have you here. This is like the third time that I've met Dawson here on the islands and get to show him some of the things I've loved about the island, and he gets to share his history and culture with us. And what an honor it is to have him back here at the church. So we thank you again, Dawson Church. And so, my friends, it's time to give your gifts and offerings and tithing, as we like to do here, as sharing your little time and trials, and as well as their monetary gifts. And so as you take your tithes and offerings, our ushers will be moving forward, and there are many ways in which you can make your donation, which we are abundantly grateful. QR code coming up for the PayPal, as well as any way you feel like to. And if you have spare change, there's a little wooden church in the back for our building fund. So please contribute to that also. So if you'd all take your hands in your gifts and your offering in your hands, and let's do this offertory prayer together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am abundantly prosperous in every way. And with that, we have a little more music coming from Laura and Braylon. And so 107 in the songbook, and it's I Am Stronger Than My Fears. And so, Braylon, thank you so much.
107.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. God bless you, and absolutely sharing your talent. As our ushers moving forward, we'd like to thank all our guests and visitors that have joined us today. We have a full sanctuary. What an honor it is to have. Let's all send it out to everybody here. Aloha, and God bless you. Thank you, my friends. And now as our ushers are moving forward, let's do our offertory blessing together. Through Spirit, we know that as we give, so shall we receive. We dedicate and consecrate these gifts to do your will, your work in this center, in our lives, and in our community. And so it is. Thank you, Chris. Next Sunday, my friends, Reverend Sophia will be our guest speaker, and her topic will be the covenant with God. In this sacred unity experience, we consciously enter into a covenant with the divine mind, God, through prayerful intention. Congregants will write a letter to God affirming the good they have chosen to manifest for 2026 and aligning thought, feelings, and expectations with spiritual law from the same place of truth. They will learn to write the letter from God and reflection on the divine idea already established in consciousness, celebrating its fulfillment. And so join us next Sunday for your letter to God with Reverend Sophia Falke. And in closing, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here in the sanctuary. Please tell your friends and family. We broadcast live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And so if you're a gamer, we're even there. And so joining us online is a great way to see it. We have many people that join us online because we have a lot of snowbirds that come during the winter and share the services online during the summers. And so many ways in which you can share this. And from our hearts, we'd like to make a big circle right behind the cameras as we do our closing songs. Let there be peace on earth and aloha oi. Wow, what a grand circle we have today. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, and we all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be our joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And as we know, we can go from trial through transformations. Join us again at noon for more of Dawson Church. Refreshments upstairs after the service. A little more fellowship. And until we meet again, aloha oi. Aloha oi. Aloha oi. Eke ona ona no. Ikalipo. One fond embrace. Aoi aleao. Until we meet again. Ahui ho! Aloha! Thank you, everybody. God bless you all. What an honor it is to be here in Hawaii. Come join us. We got plenty of room. Oh, shh, don't tell anybody. And come back at noon. Absolutely.